Good morning, everyone. I want to wish all of us happy International Day of the Girl Child. Each year on October 11th, we celebrate this day to highlight the challenges girls face and to promote their empowerment and rights. This day reminds us of the need for equal access to education, reproductive health, equity and rights, and the unique difficulties girls encounter, such as discrimination, violence, and limited access to education and healthcare. Every year, the International Day of the Girl Child has a specific theme. This year's theme is Girls' Vision for the Future. It emphasizes the urgent need for action and hope, driven by the voices of girls and driven by the vision of girls as they envision a better future. And of course, I was once a girl. But how can we hear the voices of girls and secure their future if we do not address the challenges they face today? As you may know, Borno State has experienced severe flooding, displacing thousands of residents and damaging homes and infrastructures. The situation disrupted many daily activities, including education. Many families had to evacuate their homes, leading to interruption in schooling activities, especially for girls and who were relocated to temporary shelters. Please permit me to take this again. As you may know, Borno State has experienced severe flooding, displacing thousands of residents and damaging homes and infrastructure. This situation disrupted many daily activities, including access to education for girls. Many families had to evacuate their homes, leading to interruption in schooling, especially for girls who were relocated to temporary shelters and IDP camps. Permit me to share the findings of an assessment Zegcawis conducted in respect to the impact of flooding on girls' child education in Maiduguri and some parts of Jere. We've surveyed 640 households in Gonge 1, Gonge 2, and Budum communities. The results are alarming, as only 19% of 2,723 children had been able to return to school after the floods, leaving a huge 81% of children still out of school. Among those children unable to return to school are future leaders, of which the majority are girls within the age range of 8 to 12 years. We also found that 65% of families noted a lack of learning materials such as uniforms, books, and bags, along with financial difficulties as a result for their children not resuming back to school. This emphasized the need for policies that not only focus on the unmeasurable economic impacts, but social and environmentally friendly policies that recognizes the needs of the people and respect our uniqueness and context as a country. Additionally, 21% mentioned emotional or psychological distress and anxiety, while 14% of the household assessed expressed concern about their children's safety in schools. This further emphasizes the need to strengthen our guidance and counseling units across all schools, and this call for implementation and reinforcement of environmentally friendly policies and programs. These findings highlight the urgent need for support for girl child education, which is threatened not only by natural disasters, but by societal norms, violence, and inadequate access to sanitation, especially during menstruation. Menstruation is a significant challenge to girl child education, it affecting their attendance, participation, and overall performance in academic activities. Did you know that many girls drop out or miss a lot of school around puberty age? Because menstruation can cause them to miss an average 3 to 4 days of classes per month, and this is equivalent to around 20% of an entire academic year. Many girls, especially in rural communities, lack access to proper facilities to manage their periods in dignity, which leads to gaps in their education and increased dropouts. We must address these issues and advocate for resolutions and solutions that ensure all girls have the needed resources and support to complete 12 years of quality education.
Call to action. Firstly, today we urge the government of Borno State to address the specific needs of girls, such as access to free menstrual hygiene products for girls in school across Borno State. This will not only guarantee access to education for girls, but will also ensure their retention to complete 12 years of quality education in school. Education is not just a basic right, it is the key to a brighter future. Educated girls become informed leaders and advocate for change. By investing in provision of free paths for girls, we invest in a more equitable and prosperous world for girls in Borno State. Secondly, while enrollment is crucial, it is just the beginning. We call on the government to address all the barriers that stop girls going to school, including provision of scholastic materials for all children whose homes were affected by flood. Today, we advocate for comprehensive policies and programs that will prevent, mitigate, and respond to impacts of climate change. We advocate for the creation of educational environments that welcome and support the rights of girls to learn, lead, and decide. This includes providing resources for menstrual hygiene, safe transportation, security, and adequate facilities for girls to manage their menstruation with dignity. Thirdly, safety is essential. Girls deserve to learn in secure environment, free from violence, harassment, or discrimination. This requires protective measures and a culture that promotes respect and equality. We call on the federal government to address insecurity so that the girls in Zamfara, Katsina, Sokoto, Kebbi, and all other parts of Nigeria will learn in a safe environment free from violence and attacks. Finally, we must adopt gender response education. This means developing curriculum that reflects the diverse experience of all students and promote gender equality. Education should not only be about giving knowledge, but also fostering in an inclusive environment where every girl feels valuable and capable of achieving her dreams. In conclusion, let's unite our efforts to address specific needs for children, such as provision of menstrual hygiene products for girls. We advocate for comprehensive policy that tackle changes facing girl child education, ensure their safety, include their voice in decision making, and promote a gender responsive approach in education. Together, we can create a world where every girl not only enrolls in school, but returns to complete 12 years of quality education. Thank you for your attention.
Best on issues around not only enrollment, but retaining girls to complete 12 years of quality education. I can say that we are not where we want to be, but so far so good. Because immediately we did the International Day of the Girl Child last year on October 18. We marked it that day to commemorate with our organizational 5 years anniversary. And for some of you that were there, you can see that even the launching of the Prepared for Girls campaign officially is we do it in collaboration with the government, and that is specifically Ministry of Education. And because of some of the highlights we gave during the commemoration and the continuous advocacy that we do around this particular issue, last year, this year around May, to commemorate the World Menstrual Hygiene Day, we have seen a Commissioner of Education mobilizing over 18,000 hygiene kits from UNICEF for him to go to deep pill himself and distribute this hygiene kit. So this wouldn't have been possible if organizations like Zegcawis or other partners that are advocating for the issues of gender responsive education did not come out to advocate. The attention of the government might not be tilted toward that. So our intention at the end of the day is to ensure pre-provision of menstrual hygiene products for girls across all schools in Borno. But we are not where we want to be, but we are making some progress. Especially, we have made a lot of efforts. We have met, for those of you that are following our social media handles, we have met the Honorable Commissioner of Justice and the Attorney General, particularly in this issue, and she already picked interest in this issue. The Honorable Commissioner of Women Affairs is somebody that we know is very passionate about women and children issue. And in the Ministry of Education, just like I said, they went, their commitment is as impressive as them going ahead to mobilize, to start mobilizing this hygiene kit. And soon we're going to invite you again, because we also believe that government has so much burden on their head, and we believe in corporate social responsibilities, calling on private sectors to also come in, and other donors and international communities. And from our own end, Zegcawis and Malala Fund have already repositioned 1,000 hygiene kits in commemoration of this day to hand over to the Commissioner of the Education and the Ministry of Education and stakeholders around the education sector. This is because for some of these locations that we cannot access, this government, especially the Ministry of Education, are always out there going to different locations that Zegcawis or other organizations may feel that they won't go there. And to also understand that the ministries are very passionate about this, particularly when we start the second phase of this intervention, we want to still continue the intervention within MMC and JERE. But the ministry said no, Zegcawis and your team, we appreciate you, but you should go to the IDP returnees communities, because that is where we are getting so much issues. We built new schools, equip them, enroll girls in schools, but they keep dropping out. And when we go out to investigate why, we tend to see issues around menstrual hygiene management, and that puberty age is the age at which many girls drop out of school. So you see that the Ministry of the Education and all the stakeholders we need to work with to ensure that we actualize the issue of the provision of pre-pad for girls in school are actually working to actualize that. And then coming to issues raised by the Peace FM, Karim FM correspondent. Thank you so much for this concern. Yeah, of course, the security we focus on our presentation is centered toward the issues around abduction of girls in schools. Abduction of girls in schools, we often had, and we are all seeing, particularly in northern Nigeria, girls are not protected in school, and for most of these terrorists, for most of these terrorists or banditry, as they tag them in the Northwest, for instance, most of their targets are girls located school. So that is why generally we call on the federal government to particularly invest in issues of security, so that this girl can go to school and learn with dignity without fear of any violence or attack. But this particular issue that you raised, I think there is something we can do, not Zegcawis alone, but even you people as media practitioners. I believe that one of our major responsibilities is to ensure that we raise the agenda for the communities. The moment we keep talking about this particular issue, it will draw the government attention. So that shouldn't left to only civil society organizations, Zegcawis or any INGO. Issues around protection and safety should be everyone concerned and their concerns. And then I also urge the media to key in on that and create awareness, maybe encouraging government or even community participation. We have so much abundance of youth sitting along the roadside doing nothing. So we can set the agenda to encourage these youth for them to be able to volunteer and protect children that accessing school in main roads, so that when there is time for them to like kind of close from school, there will be youth in this community. We have so many youth platforms doing nothing, almost nothing. So we can be able to encourage them. This will also ensure community participation. Not everything that we can be able to say, we say government, or CSOs. And then on issues around adequate facilities, on issues around adequate facilities, I think over the years, not only Zegcawis, but so many organizations have invested so much on these issues around adequate facilities. For instance, wash facilities for girls in schools and everything. Just like I responded to